What's up, YouTube? Today we're reviewing the 2021 Yukon Denali XL. Huge thank you to Felipe Portillo over at Koons, Tysons, Chevy, Buick, GMC. If you're interested in any GM product with the exception of Cadillac, I'll have his information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. For 2021, GMC redesigned the Yukon and Yukon XL, and just by looking at it, you can tell basically right off the bat that this has a more updated and just more stylish look, in my opinion, than the previous generation. I think the hood has these very sporty body lines, and the sporty body lines follow through to the middle of the hood as well, just to make it look that much more aggressive. And moving down here, you can see that the grille for 2021 got a lot bigger with those big GMC lettering in the middle. I think that looks very good. And you also have this little aluminum trim piece that goes around the hood, and that aluminum trim follows through basically through the rear of the vehicle, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But moving over to here, you see that you have the C-shaped daytime running lights. You also have LED headlights with black in the back, which also adds to the sportiness. And moving down here, you have the LED fog lamps with the black surround around them, as well as more of that aluminum trim right here. More of that aluminum trim at the bottom of the front bumper as well. And moving to this side, you can see again the black headlights down in there, C-shaped daytime running lights, LED headlamps, as well as LED fog lamps down there. Stepping back, taking a look, I think that it just looks very good, very aggressive, and also very luxurious as well. Moving to wheel and tire size, these are a 275, 50, 22, so these are a 22-inch wheel, and I really like the multi-spoke design on these wheels. These are a Bridgestone tire, and these are more for road use, so if you want to take one of these off-road, definitely put some off-roady tires on it. Or, you know, if you want to just maintain the quietness and the smoothness of the ride, just keep those tires on. But like I said, more of that aluminum trim right here, followed by the little black in the middle, and brushed aluminum GMC badge right in there. Looks very, very good. And moving to the mirror, on the top you have paint matched mirror caps, as well as a little black on the bottom of the mirror, and your turn signal is in the mirror right there. And this car does have a 360-degree view camera, and you can see the driver camera right there. This is a Denali, so you have your Denali lettering on the side as well. You do have running boards here. These are not automatic retractable running boards, but they are running boards, and they do help you get in and out of the vehicle. But stepping back, let's take a look at the side profile. Definitely different than the old Denalis, and like I said, I think that it does look better. I really like that white shark fin on top, and I think that the running boards also look very good, again in that aluminum color. Those 22-inch wheels. Over here you've got your gas cap. GM recommends 91 octane plus, and you can see that there's a lot of room in here, and this is for the DEF tank right in here. So if you got the Duramax, you would put DEF in right here, and obviously your diesel right there. But this is the 6.2 liter V8 that makes 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. Looking at the back, you see you've got a quad tip exhaust, which also, like I said, just adds to the sportiness of the truck. But like I said, this has 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque, which is able to push this big truck from 0 to 60 in 6.1 seconds. And with that quick 0 to 60 time and that big 6.2 liter motor, this thing's able to achieve 13 miles per gallon city and 19 miles per gallon highway, and that does go through a 10-speed automatic transmission standard on the Denali. And with those performance figures in mind, you are able to have a max towing capacity on this Denali of 8,300 pounds. And if you just get the regular Yukon, it is 8,400 pounds with the 6.2 liter V8. Looking at the rear, you also have LED tail lamps as well. I think that they look very good, and they also do have that C-shaped kind of design down in here as well. And I think that they look very good when the LED daytime running lights are on. But back here, you do have a backup camera right there, GMC right here, and you do have an automatic lift tailgate right here. And if you have the previous generation Yukon XL, I think you could basically tell right off the bat that there's a lot more storage space in the trunk than the previous generation. And you also do have all these buttons right here to fold down those seats. So just push this button here, and the seat goes down. Left side, push that button and hold it, seat goes down. And you can control those seats right up there as well. So just plenty of storage space if you have all the seats down. I don't think you're gonna have to worry really about storage space, especially if you put all the seats down. You can fit pretty much anything that you need to in here because there's just tons and tons of storage space. But underneath the trunk, you got a little bit more storage space. Maybe put like a little umbrella or just like small little things because it's not that deep. So yeah, just be mindful of what you're putting down in there. Otherwise, it's not gonna fit. But you do have a power outlet right here that you can turn on from the front. So I think that's very cool. If you're tailgating or something like that, you've got just that little outlet right there. But let's close that trunk. And while we're talking about the power liftgate, one cool feature that the GMC Yukons do have is that you have this little button back here that if you push it, this little glass piece opens up and it just makes it that much more usable. So if you got a piece of wood that you're going through the entire interior, it's too long to fit with the trunk closed, you can have this little glass piece open and it can stick out rather than having the whole power lift gate open. And like I said, that just adds to the usability of it. And not very many manufacturers still utilize this rear piece of glass, which I think that's very good. And that's a selling point, in my opinion, of the Yukon. I really like this white color. I think that it looks very good. We'll step in. And this white color is called White Frost Tri-Coat, and the interior is a teak light shale color. I think these colors really complement each other very, very nicely, but we'll move into the interior here in a second. But before we move into the interior, I want to show you guys the engine bay. So we'll step over here, pop this door open, pop the hood. And there's your 6.2 liter V8. Like I said, 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque. And just take a quick look. Nice looking motor. We'll close that and move into the interior. Obviously this is 2021, so you do have keyless access, but the door's already unlocked. Moving in, let's start her up. And one thing that you notice right off the bat is just this beautiful infotainment screen right here in the new dash. This is a 10.2 inch screen and it looks a lot better than the old 8-inch screen of the old Denalis. You also do have a push button transmission right here, but it's not only push button, you also pull it to go into reverse, push it to go into neutral, pull it to go into drive, and obviously push it to go into park. One thing that I do like about this little transmission button thing right here is that when you put it into park and you're on like a steep incline, it puts the emergency brake on immediately. So it's not always going to put your emergency brake on. However, if you're on a steep grade hill, it will put the emergency brake on immediately. And I think that's just something that's really nice. It's just a nice safety feature that they did add to this Denali. But I'm not sure if the GoPro is going to pick it up, but you do have a 15-inch heads-up display screen right up there. Right now, obviously, we're going 0 miles an hour, so it's not going to show any type of speed. But when you're going at speed, it's definitely very nice to look down. It's not intrusive by any means, and it's nice to be able to see the speed as well as the speed limit right under your speedometer on the heads-up display. It's just very nice. I think it's another nice little safety feature that GMC did. So you don't have to look down at your little screen down here instead. But moving down to this little dash screen right down here, you do see that you have an analog speedometer as well as an analog RPM gauge, but in the middle, you do have a nice little digital display in here. And right now you can see that I do have directions put on right there, but we're not going anywhere right now. 71 miles of fuel range. This particular truck has 13 miles on it. So this thing's basically brand new. Like I said, if you're interested in this particular truck, Felipe Portillo, I'll have his information in the description box down below. But if you guys are enjoying this video so far, please give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm really gunning for 1,000 subscribers and I can't do it without your guys' help. So please hit that subscribe button. Please give this video a big thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section down below. And let me know what your favorite feature of the Denali has been so far. But yeah, you can see that you have your oil pressure right there, coolant temperature, fuel gauge right here, and your battery voltage right there. Right now we are in 2-wheel drive. However, you can put this thing into 4 auto, 4 high, and 4 low. And right over here, you see you have this dial right here that says mode. So you have 4 different drive modes that you can be in. You have normal, sport, off-road, and tow haul. And I've only been in normal and sport so far, and the difference between normal and sport is pretty big. Like, normal is just a very comfortable ride. Basically can't feel any bumps. And when you put it into sport mode, everything tightens up. You can start to feel the bumps and stuff, but it handles a lot better. It definitely goes around turns a lot better, and obviously that's because you are in sport mode. But you know, I really like this screen. It's very configurable. You've got your fuel information right here. You can look at your music, navigation info, phone. You can adjust your different settings through here, and all that can be done through this little scroll knob right here, as well as these two side buttons right here. And right here you have this button basically to tell your car to do if you want to turn off climate control, turn up the climate to 71 degrees. If you want to turn the climate down to 60 degrees, you can tell it to do that. So it's a very nice feature right there. End your phone call right here. Heated steering wheel, adaptive cruise control. Obviously you got pretty much all the bells and whistles. You got your hazard button right here. You can see right there, it flashes with the turn signal. So I think that's pretty cool. Up here, you've got your sunroof controls as well as your shade control right there, as well as your light controls. And by pushing this button, this opens up the rear hatch. And obviously you do have a universal garage door opener right here, followed by two lights for the interior right there. Very nice. You also have your OnStar button right here and your passenger airbag information. Moving down here, you've got your climate control stuff. You do have heated and cooled seats in the front, and in the rear two seats you have heated seats as well. But what's really nice about this interior is that you do have Denali embossed into the seat back right here. And let's take a look at these seats real quick. So I'm going to step out and let's take a look at the seats. Really nice colors on the seats. Like I said, this is the teak and shale interior right here. You got your little cross stitched right here that goes along down the bottom of the seat, followed by your brown leather piping right there. Just makes the seats look just that much more premium, like I said. And the leather is just a very, very soft leather. Obviously you got power adjustable seats on both the driver and passenger side, and you have two memory adjustment seat settings right here, and you have automatic up and down windows in the front, but you do not have automatic up or down windows in the rear. Beautiful aluminum door handle right here, and just the door panel in itself is very, very nice. You got that beautiful soft brown leather up here with that little bit of stitching, followed by this beautiful dark wood material right here. Just feels very premium. It feels like real wood. You also have an aluminum trim piece right down here, followed by more of that light shale interior right here. Just looks very, very nice. Tons of storage space on the bottom of the door card. A little bit of storage space in here. You can put your phone or any device down in there. Good amount of room. This does have the Bose sound system, which sounds very good. It's a very clear sound system, and you also got a little bit of bass. You've got your Denali nameplate right there that also looks very good as well. But again, stepping into the interior, over here you've got your, like I said, your power outlets. So the power outlets are on. You've got your parking assist button right there, traction control, hill descent assist, and your lane keep system right there. Obviously this car does have a electronic parking brake, heads up display, your information on your screen on your heads up display, as well as your heads up display brightness. You can adjust with that button right there. Very, very nice. You got an automatic up and down steering wheel right there, followed by more of that very, very soft leather on the steering wheel as well. Like I said, feels very premium. In this particular car, you do not have the camera rear view mirror. However, you do have an auto dimming rear view mirror, and it's very easy to look out. Definitely you don't need the camera system, but the camera system might be nice to have if that's what you want. Panoramic sunroof right here lets tons of light in, makes the car feel that much more open and airy than it already is. But moving back down here, you got a USB-A port, USB-C port, followed by a 12-volt outlet right there. You also do have a wireless charging pad right down here, which is definitely big enough for any Pro Max iPhone that you do have. It'll fit right down in there, no problem. You don't got to worry about it being too small. Two nice size cup holders right here, which you do have another cup holder in the driver door as well as the passenger door over there. And those are more for like water bottles and stuff like that rather than cups. You can definitely fit two decent sized cups in here, but definitely not like one of those big thick Gatorades that's got the thick bottom. That will not fit in here. Decent sized center console in here. It's about a wrist deep, but definitely tons of storage space. You can put hand sanitizer, whatever you want to put in here, there's enough room for it. Unless you really clutter up your center dash with a bunch of different stuff, you have enough storage space for pretty much everything that you need. But beautiful dash up here, more of that beautiful soft leather, and it's leather wrapped throughout the entire dash. Looks very, very good, and also feels very nice as well. More of that soft leather down here, and more of that little wood trimming right in here. Obviously you do have a good sized glove box in there for your owner's manual, napkins, straws, whatever you want to put in there. But yeah, there's the passenger door as well, followed by the passenger seat right there. Looks very, very nice. But I want to show you guys the window sticker so I don't have to read through all these different options. So if you want to pause your screen right here and look at the different options, this is an $82,810 vehicle, like you can see right there, and you can read all the options that it has right here, followed by all this different standard equipment right here. So if you guys want to stop the video right here and read through all of that, I will let you do that right here. Fuel economy right there, and move into the rear seat, because basically if you're getting a Denali XL, you're basically getting it for the passengers in the rear. But looking at this door panel right here, you got one of your Bose speakers right here, as well as another Bose speaker down there, just like the front door. Very, very nice leather on here, more of that wood and aluminum trim. And obviously you got an aluminum door panel, really nice armrest right here. It's nice and padded. Tons of storage space in the bottom of the door, another storage space for a smart water bottle or whatever you want to put right there. And if you want to put your phone in here, you don't got to worry about it sliding, because just like the front, there's a little rubber piece down at the bottom to prevent it from sliding all over the place. But let's put this seat up and scooter back. Moving in and looking at this seat right here, again, basically just like the front seat, you got a little bit of bolstering on the bottom of the seat, which is very nice. But stepping in, very, very comfortable seat, like very, very comfortable, just as comfortable if not more comfortable than the front seat. These are the captain's chairs, so you do have a fold down armrest on this side as well as a fold down armrest on this side as well. But right here you do notice that you've got these tablet style kind of infotainment screens. So if you want to connect your Xbox or PlayStation, you can definitely do that. You do see you have HDMI 1 and HDMI 2 ports right there. You got a USB-C port down here, as well as if you want to listen to some music, you can do that as well. But one thing that I found is really cool is that if your driver is driving, doesn't really want to pay attention to navigation, you can click this button right here. It'll pop this open and you can search for different places that you want to go. So let's say I want to go to Koons, Tysons, Koons Ram. Let's try to go there. So basically I can click this and I can send it to the front, and you can see right up there that it says Koons Ram, and you can either accept or ignore it. And if you press accept, then it puts the navigation screen right up on there. But if you ignore it totally, it just says request ignored. So yeah, if your kids are bothering you, you don't have to turn these on. You can actually turn both of these screens off in the front. But in the back, 2 cup holders right here as well. And you do have your climate control settings right down in here, followed by those HDMI ports right here and 2 USB-C ports as well. Your fan and your temperature adjustment right there, and you got a little screen right in here. But moving down here, you do have another household outlet right there, which is really nice. So if you want to plug in your Xbox, you can do so just like that. So I think that's really cool, and that's definitely a great feature if you've got kids that like to play video games and you're going on a long road trip. They can bring their Xbox and you don't got to hear them complaining in the back seat. But let's move into the third row here. Put that seat up just like that. These are electric, so you can put them up from the back with those buttons right over there. But the second row you do have to put back up manually. But you do have another USB-C port right here, followed by another USB-C port on this side as well. You do have a smaller cup holder back here, followed by just a little bit of storage space for your phone. There's no rubber mat at the bottom of this, but you do have a nice little padded armrest on this side, as well as a nice little padded armrest on this side, so your elbows aren't going to hurt if you're on a long road trip. But sitting behind myself, I am 5'9", and I've got plenty of headroom right here. You can see that they made just a little bit more headroom right here. You can see that it kind of comes up a little bit, and that's for the sake of headroom. Your HVAC vents are right here, and you do have a little light right here as well for both your driver and passenger side passengers. But yeah, these seats are definitely very comfortable. I got plenty of knee room, plenty of leg room. So if you're worried about somebody in the third row not having all that much room, for 2021 they added 10.1 inches of leg room to the rear thanks to that independent rear suspension, which also makes this vehicle feel that much better when you're driving it. But when we get into the driving portion of the review, I'll talk to you about that. But yeah, very, very comfortable interior. Even in the center, it's very, very comfortable, and you can just see by sitting back here how much room there really is in this cabin back here. Very, very nice. But yeah, you can see plenty of room. You got the captain's chairs right here. So this is a 7-passenger vehicle. You can make it an 8-passenger vehicle if you do away with the captain's chairs, but I think the captain's chairs are definitely the way to go, especially if you're worried about your passenger comfort. definitely get the captain's chairs because they're just that much more comfortable, and they just give you that much more room here to get into the rear. But if you're a rear passenger, you want to get out, just push this button right here, and that seat goes forward just like that, and it makes it that much easier to get out of the third row just like that. Tons of space to get out, so makes it very easy to get in and out just like that. Push the seat back down, fold it up like that, and push this and it'll slide back like that. Very comfortable interior. And yeah, you know, we've talked a lot about the exterior, we've talked about the interior. Now I want to see what this thing's like to drive, so I will see you guys in the driver's seat. One thing that I did want to add into the video is that this car does have a 4G LTE hotspot. So like I said, if you bring your Xbox along with you, you don't have to worry about bringing your phone as a hotspot, because this vehicle is a hotspot in and of itself, which is pretty awesome. But that's one thing I wanted to add. And I'm also going to read off the safety features. And I know I put the window sticker in so you guys could pause the video and read the safety features yourself, but I'm just going to read them to you because why not? So talking about safety and security, this does have lane keep assist with lane departure warning, lane change alert with side blind zone alert, automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian braking, forward collision alert, rear cross traffic alert, front and rear park assist, following distance indicator, and IntelliBeam auto high beam headlamps, which is very nice at night. And if you do have auto high beams in any of your vehicles, it's just very nice at night to not have to worry about that. HD surround vision and rear pedestrian alert, safety alert seat, and a theft deterrent system. So those are just some of the safety features that I thought were important to read off. But like I said, we are going to get into the driving portion of the review, so I will see you guys in the driver's seat. And now on to my favorite part of the review, which is the driving portion of the review. And I know I say this every video, but you learn a lot about a car by driving it. And obviously that's self-explanatory, but I mean, it's really true. You go around turns and stuff, you learn how the vehicle handles turns, how it stops, how it goes, stuff like that. So me and my buddy were talking, and we thought this would be a good road to send the Denali down, because there are a lot of speed bumps down this road, and I wanted to find out how this thing handles speed bumps, comparing it to other vehicles. And going over that first speed bump, I can already tell that it's going to handle a lot better than a lot of the other vehicles that I've driven down this road. And the reason behind that is that this does have an adaptive air suspension, and it also has magnetic ride control. And both of those two in collaboration just really come together for a very, very smooth and agile ride. And you'd be surprised at how agile that this vehicle is. And this road is also really hilly. So not only are we using the motor here, we're using the suspension, we're using the brakes, we're using everything. So this road is really a good test for a daily driver. But going up this hill again, that 6.2 has no trouble going up this hill with all that horsepower and torque. Like I mentioned, 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque. So really going up and down these hills, it's really not pushing more than 2,000 RPM. I'm also not flooring it or ripping it at all. I'm just doing how I would normally drive a vehicle through these roads. But going over these speed bumps, man, this thing handles these speed bumps so well. That magnetic ride control and that air suspension really just come together to create something that's really just a really refined ride. Like, we're going to be going over a lot more speed bumps. This road is very, very tight. Going around these turns, I'm in normal mode right now. And there's a big difference in this car in between normal mode and sport mode. In sport mode, it really tightens up the suspension. It makes you go around turns. You can definitely go around turns a lot quicker. But you can definitely feel every bump in sport mode. So we're actually going to put it into sport mode right now and see how it goes over these bumps in sport mode as opposed to normal mode. But coming up to a speed bump in sport mode, definitely rides a lot firmer in sport mode, but the throttle response is also a lot greater in sport mode. So I've definitely picking up the pace a little bit just by putting it in sport mode. Like I said, the throttle response is sharpened, but we got a little speed bump right here. See how it goes over. Definitely a lot firmer when going over the speed bumps in sport mode. But like I said, in normal mode, this thing, you can barely even feel the speed bumps. Obviously, you know you're going over some speed bumps. I mean, if you couldn't tell you're going over some speed bumps, then you probably shouldn't be driving. But going across this little road right here, plenty of power right off the line. You don't really have to put your foot that much into the throttle to really feel the power and to really get up and go. which is something that I really like. I don't like cars where you really have to put your foot into the throttle to really get any sort of acceleration. That kind of bothers me, but in this vehicle in particular, you really don't have to put your foot that far into the throttle to really get up and go, which is awesome. But more speed bumps in sport mode. Again, it's still a very comfortable ride in sport mode. However, you do feel the bumps just a little bit more, and like I mentioned, it does handle a little bit better. But we're gonna go back into normal mode just because I feel like people who are driving this car most likely are not going to be putting it into sport mode all that often. But one thing I noticed right off the bat between switching it in normal mode and sport mode is that the throttle response is a lot less in normal mode. But you know, like I said, throttle response is a lot less, but the way you go over bumps is a lot better. It's just a lot more comfortable. But like I said, this thing's got plenty of power, so I don't think you really have to worry about this car being anemic on power. Again, you can test the 5.3. I haven't driven a 5.3 Yukon, but I have driven a 6.2 and a 3-liter diesel that they have. And the 3-liter diesel is a great motor. So if you want one of these cars, but you also want one of these cars to get very good gas mileage, I would definitely say go take a look at the diesel. Go and test drive it because that's a great motor and it's got plenty of torque. So like I said, in that car, you don't really have to put the throttle down all that much either in that. But you know, the horsepower isn't as great on the diesel. But really the reality is, how often are you going to be flooring one of these? Probably not too often. This is more of a daily driver, get the kids from school to soccer practice or stuff like that. So I don't really think you got to worry about horsepower and stuff like that. Obviously the 6.2 is nice to have over the 5.3. The 5.3 is definitely gonna have a lot less power. But coming up to this little stop right here, to get into the brakes, with the brakes you kind of have to push the brakes down a little bit more to get a harder stop. And obviously you have to push the brakes down a little bit harder in any car to get the vehicle to stop harder. But in this vehicle in particular, it is a very heavy truck, so you do have to push the brake a little bit more, but it's not a big deal. You get used to it really quickly. But this heads-up display is awesome. It displays the speed limit, it displays my speed, and it also displays navigation information when I have navigation going on the infotainment screen. One thing I did want to add is that this car does have those rear infotainment screens right there, and those are a 12.6-inch touchscreen system, which is awesome. If you have kids, those are definitely some screens that you're probably going to want to option for, especially if you go on road trips often. It's going to keep them entertained, and you're not really going to have to worry about when are we going to be there, when are we going to be there, stuff like that, because if you click the button back there, it'll actually pop up the navigation screen. So it'll tell them exactly how long you're going to take to get to the destination. So I think that's an awesome feature to have. I think another great feature to have is this panoramic sunroof. I'm a big fan of sunroofs. I really like the sunroof in the fall and spring seasons when the temperature is about perfect and the sun's not beating down on you too much. I think that's a great system to have. Another thing that I did want to mention is just how comfortable this driver's seat is. I can definitely see myself doing a long road trip from where I'm at in Virginia down to Florida, over to Texas, up to New York, stuff like that. No worries. These seats and that suspension really make for a really comfortable ride. Again, if you're on the highway or if you're going on back streets taking your kid to school or something like that, this is just a very comfortable ride. Power is great. Fuel economy, 13 city, 19 miles per gallon on the highway. So not the greatest fuel economy, but like I just said, if you're worried about fuel economy, option for the 3-liter Duramax motor. It's a great motor. You're not going to really have to worry about that motor blowing up after 200,000 miles. I really think that that diesel motor will last you a really long time, just because it doesn't rev out all that much. But you know, it's a great option because you know it's got all the power that you really want. And it's a great motor. So and the towing capacity is also very good with the diesel motor. I put the exact towing capacity with the diesel motor right here. But like I said, very comfortable ride. It's a very serene interior. It's very quiet in here. I don't really have to raise my voice to talk to the camera either. But you do have dual pane glass on the front windows as well as the rear windows. And you also do have active noise canceling and a lot more sound deadening material in this 2021 Yukon as opposed to like a 2019 Yukon. So it's just very quiet in here. Like, just listen. Super quiet as opposed to other vehicles that I've driven. So like I said, this vehicle is a lot more refined than the last generation. You got a lot nicer infotainment system, this climate control system, as well as your volume knob and tuning adjustment knob right there. Also very, very nice material, very nice feeling, very easy to grab with gloves on. Really nice buttons, really nice transmission, 10-speed transmission. You've got that wireless charging pad. You've got the Bose 14 speaker sound system, which sounds awesome. You've got that little digital screen on the Denali right here, where, as opposed to like an SLE where that screen would be replaced by analog gauges on the top and you just have that little screen on the bottom. So if you want the Mac Daddy Yukon, definitely option for the Denali. I mean, I think the Denali is the hottest selling Yukon that you can get, and that's for good reason. It's very, very comfortable. The interior is just gorgeous. The leather that they use is just super soft. All the materials are just very, very nice. I think the Denali looks the best out of any of the other trim levels, including the AT4. I think that it just looks a little bit better. And it just looks like you're really getting an upscale and premium truck. So definitely a huge fan of the Denali. Very, very comfortable, and the features in this car are awesome. More features than you could ever know what to do with. All the safety features that you want: blind spot monitoring, pre-collision warning, pre-collision braking, stuff like that. You got your parking sensors in the front, parking sensors in the rear. So basically this thing has, like I said, all the features that you could ever want. But yeah, you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the interior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about how this thing drives. So if you're on the fence about getting a Denali, definitely at least go out and test drive one. I think it'll sell itself just because it's so comfortable, it's so quiet, it's got all the features that you ever need. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm really gunning for 1,000 subscribers, and I can't do it without your guys' help. But yeah, please leave a comment in the comment section down below. Also, let me know what your favorite feature was on this Yukon XL Denali, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace.